Mark, good to see you here in Launceston. You've just come off a campaign with the Uni Roos, so how'd you go and how'd you think the team went overall?
Well, I think it was an interesting tournament from the standpoint that we had a 6-2 record and finished 9th overall, so found ourselves in a really tough pool, but that's international competition. You've got to be able to, take your hits and move on, and we probably dropped a game against Israel that become really costly for us in the long run. But the boys rebounded really well, and our games outside of it from 9th to 16th, we won all 3 and put us in that 9th position to finish the tournament with a win over Canada, which was really pleasing.
You had a good team around you. You had a good coaching staff with Mike Kelly and Jamie O'Loughlin. How was it to work with those guys, and how was it to coach these young up-and-coming players coming through the ranks?
Well, I think first and foremost, just a privilege to be, selected to work with that group. They're a fantastic group, very passionate about wearing the green and gold, and being part of that emerging Boomers group and pathway. Support staff, or virtually, we treated it almost like 3 head coaches. They were outstanding. Jamie O'Loughlin, who's now at Cairns, and Mike Kelly at Melbourne United. Felt it was really important for me being in the junior pathway right now that we had some guys that were in the weekly coaching pathway, we've been in the NBL, so I think we really complemented each other, from that standpoint. They were outstanding to work with.
We're here at the State Championships, under 16s, under 18s. You've watched a few games already. What are your thoughts of the standards so far?
Well, I was just talking to our CEO, Chris McCoy, about when I first got back 4 years ago, I did some evaluation of our style of play and how we were playing. We just had a conversation then about how I felt like we've really improved right across the board. Right? It's not perfect, and everybody's not running really structured O&D, but you can clearly see that teams are trying to be more structured, right? And the coaches and that are, coaching a better style of play from that standpoint. And I think that's the buy-in from, the network coaches that we have in our programs, the buy-in from the clubs, and it's good that we have a lot of athletes in our programs, and it starts to filter back on a weekly basis. So I think that only enhances. All right, the kids also that are not in the FDP and SDP programs, because they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to succeed on the floor because they have some framework around them, more than just going out there and playing and running up and down. So improvement, all right, but more to be done.
Have you seen the numbers increase? I know down south where I am, the numbers have increased in our programs. Have you seen that in North and Northwest as well?
Well, I think there's always the numbers in our programs are always going to fluctuate, in accordance of the level. All right, so that's going to fluctuate a little bit from year to year. But overall, I think basketball in the country has definitely, and we're part of that obviously, has grown. The NBL, the NBA, that all drives that. The WNBA now is regularly on TV. The WNBL is back on TV. Obviously the network, the relationship between BTAS, the Chargers, Tawns, and the Thunder, right? It all becomes part of the big basketball family and landscape, and that will drive that over the next few years.
We've had some athletes within the program being selected to some national camps. You want to elaborate on that if you can?
Yeah, we've just had Taryn Armstrong and Jacob Richards trial for the Australian under-17 team that's going away to the Asian qualifiers. Unfortunately, they just missed out, but they've still got stuff that they need to get done to look, to the future. They're still part of, as I see it, part of that program, and hopefully we can qualify in that age group and go to the Worlds, and if they keep improving, they'll get more opportunities there. And we have Rain Smith heading off to the Australian Development Camp at the end of September at the COE. So exciting for our young athletes.
And obviously earlier in the week as well too, you announced some high performance scholarships as well too.
Yeah, we did. We had a new crew come in, so some of our athletes have aged out and they'll still be monitored. All right, obviously because they're still viewed as under-19 athletes for the future. But we did have some returning athletes, and then there's 4 new scholarships that we've presented, and all that's been presented on our social media, Facebook and Instagram sites this week. So you can go to that to check it all out.
Absolutely. We'll finish off with the state under 20s and state under 18 sides. Obviously, the coaches have been announced, and 2 former Seawell players are leading the charge in that.
Yeah, look, we're really pleased to have Mark Nash and Sam Armstrong coaching those groups. I think the athletes would be privileged to have the experience that those two gentlemen have provided basketball in Tasmania and across the country, and really looking forward to having those 2 groups next weekend. Right, is there open trials? So again, our Facebook page and Instagram will provide all that information, but really looking forward to seeing those 2 guys work with our athletes.
Mark, great to see you as always. Thanks for your time.
Right, thanks very much, Ronald.